cut things off, we could.
Right. Good luck to you today. You're working with me.
The two of us will be a great...
welcome to comas. That's what we're going to call it.
Well, you know, that actually might not be a bad topic to discuss with everybody.
Fatigue,
right?
Exhaustion.
Just
what you posted today.
Trying to make your day, you know, keep functioning. You know, the other day, my friend Kristen posted something about, what did it say? Being an adult is like pretending to have it all together.
Oh, for sure.
You know, like whatever percentage of being an adult is just pretending you've got it all together. And I was like, oh yeah, fake it till you make it.
Absolutely true. Yeah, well, I'm convinced I'm still not an adult because I just feel like from the age of 28, I just started pretending like I had it together. And since I'm still pretending, you know what I mean? Like I just never like crossed this adult threshold that I felt like would make me feel like an adult, right? Like I have friends that have bought homes. I feel like that makes you feel like a grown-up, unless you're just faking it then too. But like, I just do these adult-like things and think that's it. That makes me an adult, and then I still feel like I'm pretending.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, people tell me all the time, like, oh, how do you just keep it all together like that all the time? Then there are the people who know me, you know, that see me when the cracks start to show, and they're like, yeah, you're a mess.
You're a mess. I don't know. Like I said just a moment ago. What did I say? I delight in your misery. No, I feel validated by your misery.
Yeah.
Not literal misery. I'm just dramatic. But
we were sharing notes about our allergy symptoms and feeling kind of blah today.
Yeah, it's a Monday. Whenever you're watching this, it's a Monday for us, and it's just a very Monday. It has been from the moment it started, and so I just feel like and this is I don't know where the whole thing came from, but I feel when on those days where I'm like, I just cannot get it together. Like, in fact, yesterday I preached about perceptions and how we want people to see us as those who have our stuff together. And today, my stuff is not together. There is not an aspect of my life that is together today. And so when Angie came in and she was like, I'm just tired. I was like, oh, thank God. Like, it's not just me, right? Like there's something validating about that.
So we were having a laugh over the I'm validated by your misery kind of came from I'm so glad I'm not the only one that feels like crap. I'm so glad you feel like crap too.
Thank goodness you feel bad. Great.
Which seems like such a lovely thing to say to people.
I know.
But like, I catch myself saying it all the time.
I know. Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah. But you know that your thing yesterday about the reputation was funny because you know how we've always got these little themes going with stuff where it keeps piling on, and that was something we talked about with Jackie in our coaching group last Tuesday. Was what do you want your reputation to be? What do you want people to feel when they're in your realm? And then what do you want your reputation to be?
I love that.
Right.
I also think it's really funny that there are themes. Like, Jackie, I can't wait for you and I to chat some more because I think it's going to be fun to see what happens. Which is that conversation is happening.
Oh, good.
April 7th.
Nice.
I like that. So, what was the first part?
What do you want your reputation to be? And what do you want people to feel?
What do you want people to feel when they're in your realm? I like that. That's such an interesting thing to think about. And so then, I mean, you can say more about where the conversation went, but like what you want people to feel, I would assume, whether consciously or subconsciously, motivates your action, your behavior, how you are with people. But so I preached about choices yesterday and how this was like perceptions, your reputation, how you want people to feel in your realm, how that's a motivator for our choices, right? So, okay. So I want people to feel heard, cared for in my realm, right? So that motivates my choices. But this kind of takes us back to what we talked about last time. Like sometimes it motivates my choices in such a way that I neglect myself, right? Like, well, I want you to feel cared for. That's what I want you to feel. That's how I want to be perceived. That's how I want you to know me. And so I'm going to do what it is to take care of you. But that might be to my detriment, to something I need to tend to's detriment. That's really interesting.
Yeah. And in my case, a lot of times, my wanting you to take care of you or do something for you doesn't just it's not just at my own expense. A lot of times it's at my family's expense,
right.
Or and I know poor Ken.
Poor Ken.
Poor Ken. We love Ken. He's amazing.
He's amazing.
He's being a pastor's husband is no joke, man.
Oh wow.
Especially not when it's a busy pastor that's involved in other things too.
I kept asking him, "Are you sure? Are you sure? You know what you're signing up for?" He's like, "Yes, absolutely." But isn't that the case with all things? Well, and that's been a learning opportunity for me. Is like, I have to figure that out. Like, how can I still be the person who wants people to feel blank in my realm without neglecting myself, my husband, my family, like, and we're navigating that. Like, I sat down with him the other night. I was like, okay, I need to schedule some things. I want you to talk through it with me, because normally I would just schedule and be like, let me just tell you, here's what's happening.
Yep.
So just trying to do that more. So I don't know. It's such an it's a little bit too big an elephant for me to bite today, but just an interesting kind of cycle of what we want the perception to be, how that motivates our action, what the action is, what that choice is, and then like, okay, then what? Like, what comes from that, and then how does that motivate the next thing? And it's just an interesting. I don't know. Yeah. So on those, so what did you all find?
The words that came to mind when we were talking about it was, I like people to feel comfortable. I want people to feel welcome and just loved and entertained. Like, I like to.
You are entertaining.
I am entertaining.
Yeah.
Sometimes not intentionally. My funniest jokes are when I say things that were not meant to be funny. They just come out the wrong way.
I feel that.
But, yeah, so just wanting to encourage people and welcome people. So they're very compatible with the stuff that you want people to feel. And to feel seen and stuff.
Yeah. So. That's really interesting. So going back to that exhaustion piece, that like, what do you do when you are there, right? Because I think whether it comes from our motivation to portray a space, an experience, a feeling, whatever, or if it's just the result of circumstances, right? Like, I mean, I think I'm tired today as a result of circumstances, allergies, just a really busy week, like had a lovely Sabbath and then went away and didn't build in like transition time. So then I'm coming back and it's like, catching up and all that. So I just think mine is predominantly circumstance, but I feel like those are the two, right? We just either have like circumstances that lead us to just exhaustion, or we've pushed ourselves too far. Like, those are circumstances also, but they're our own fault. So what do you do? Like, how then do you carve out what you need to get back to ground zero, to get back to that place of having your tank full again?
Well, I'm going to start by going on vacation later.
Yeah, you are. Yes, she is.
Because, we haven't done that.
You haven't done that in a while.
Well, I mean, I went in January, I guess, with the girls. So
yeah, but that was different, and
yeah. So this would be a nice family trip, family and friends. So, with the whole family instead of just me and my girl family. So.
Right, I like that, my girl family.
My girl family. But just, I guess, taking time to sit down and relax, and I actually did that this weekend. So I'm not sure. We had a couple nights where we got to bed kind of late, but
don't you hate that though? When I'm like, wow, I had such a restful weekend, and then on Monday I'm beat, and I'm like, now what's wrong with me? Like,
I did rest. Why am I tired? And I really, in my case, I think a lot of it is the allergies. I'm completely dehydrated.
Do allergies do that? Do they dehydrate you?
my mouth.
The medicine, or is
I don't
it like
know how
allergy
much
medicine?
of it's the allergies, how much of it's the medicine.
Yeah.
But my mouth has been dry for 2 weeks now, ever since things started blooming.
It makes me thirsty.
I almost did a post the other morning about, how can I love spring so much, and I love everything with flowers, but I was driving to work with my eyes watering. I tried taking a goofy picture, but I don't like always posting pictures that aren't very flattering, and it was not pretty, but my eyes were watering. I looked kind of sunk in, and just had to go in and take more Sudafed and Tylenol, or that's what I live on. Plus I take Flonase and either Zysol or Zyrtec all year round.
Good grief.
But so I'm just dried out.
I took Zysol once. It knocked me out. I slept for 12 hours. Yeah.
Oh wow. I don't usually have that exhausted. Sudafed knocks a lot of people out, but I don't usually get tired from it. Sudafed winds
me up. Isn't that funny? I have I tend to have, if you're in the medical profession, you can tell me what's wrong with me, but I tend to have reverse effects of medication. So good. You're going to go on vacation.
And I have, like I said, I did spend the weekend resting, but when my exhaustion is due more to just overdoing, which we talked about last time,
right?
Sometimes I just keep going until I fall apart and end up curled up in a ball. That's not the healthiest way to do it. It's
not good.
I've gotten better and better at not scheduling myself like that as crazy as I used to. Although when I'm doing things, like I could barely walk by the time I got home Saturday night, but it was all good stuff because I went to an exercise class and went and volunteered on my feet for a few hours, went home and rested for an hour, and then went out with my jazzer girls, to dinner and to see a show. So by the time we got home, it was a great day. And by the time I got home, I was like, oh my gosh. But, it was all good stuff. It wasn't like the normal stuff that wears me out mentally.
Right. And isn't that such a different kind of exhaustion?
Huge difference.
Yeah. Okay. So I just had 4 different thoughts, which is horrible. That means I wasn't listening well. Oops. But I think I was. You just made me think different little things pinged while you're talking. So first, you said Jazzer Girls, and that reminds me of Jazzagals. What's Jazzagals from? That's from a movie.
Oh, I don't know.
The Jazzagals. Somebody comment if you know what it is. It's going to come to me
later.
We'll
have to look it up.
My brain's not working. The second is, so regardless, the third is a whole other conversation we'll save for next time. But regardless of what got us there, right? So I think that's a good point. Regardless of how we got to the place of exhaustion, because I think sometimes it just happens, right? It just pops up. We can't make sense of it. We want to make sense of it, and I think that goes back to us wanting to be super people, super women, super men, just do the most, conquer the world, be perceived as those who are doing the most, conquering the world, all of that. How do we get back to ground zero? And I really struggle because I'm well, surely if I rest, if I give myself this time, then tomorrow I'm going to be 100%. And that's not always true, which then that really frustrates me. And I know we could probably beat the dead horse of, this is why you've got to carve out time, and this is why you've got to live in balance, and that's all really fine and good. And I think the ultimate desire, but how can we give ourselves permission, I guess, to do the self-care? You know what? Tonight is a no-go. I am not producing anything tonight that's going to be worth its weight. So we're just I'm not going to do the laundry tonight. Yeah. No, I'm not going to do whatever that other thing was.
I don't know how you get to that point, but I've been doing that a lot lately.
Well, if you have any tips on how to get there, friends, let us know. Yeah,
I have just started to go, you know what? Tomorrow's another day. Yeah. And the world's not going to end if I don't do this right now. Of course, I keep saying that about the taxes, so I'm still not doing
we did ours this morning. I think maybe that's why I'm exhausted. I was anxious about taxes. The world isn't going to end. So that's a really good... Maybe that's the thing for us to start using, and by us I mean not just us, but us as a community. I had a friend once. This is a friend of a friend of a friend, asking for a friend, but legitimately a friend of a friend, who was in therapy, and this friend really struggled with kind of catastrophizing everything, right? So anything that would happen was the end of the world. And so her therapist was helping her by saying, okay, when you encounter those feelings, rank it. 0 is who cares. 10 is it is actually catastrophic. Like the world is in fact ending. The sky is falling. Death is involved, right? So rank it. And so maybe that's a place to start with needing to give ourselves permission to be where we are, to rest when we need to, is to say, all right, here's what's before me tonight. Here's what's before me tonight. I theoretically would like to do some laundry, 2 loads. That would be great. I theoretically tonight would like to make a bed, the guest bed, because I've just recently, we had a guest and they've left. So now I want to make the bed again. There's some basic house things to do tonight. I wasn't going to tackle any major work projects tonight because that's just not, my brain is not going to work. So just stuff like that, right? Okay, so let me rank those things. 0 to 10. Do I have to do this tonight? Nope. I mean, I'd put that in the 1 category, right? Who cares? Yeah, nobody. It may even be a 0 because nobody's going to die. It doesn't really matter. Stuff's going to be there tomorrow. Now, as somebody who is obsessive compulsive, having those things kind of not handled can actually cause me to feel worse. But they're not big things. So those are in the 1 category.
If you did 1 load of laundry,
and that's what I was gonna say.
Have a guest coming tonight,
right? If maybe if the dishes get done tonight, so the kitchen's clean, right? Isn't that a funny thing? I used to make fun of my mom for years because she would always clean the kitchen before bed. She had to clean the kitchen before bed, and I'm like, what is that about? You just have a weird kitchen thing. No, I get it. How many of us need to have a clean kitchen before we go to bed? Or is that you?
No.
Or I know. You're nope, not it.
I would prefer it, but I can sleep if it's not done.
Oh man, I can't do it.
There are some nights I'm it'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah, and right. Well, it will, and nobody's gonna die if it is.
Yeah.
If it's there for 5 days, we've got a bigger problem. But 24 hours, 36 hours, we'll be okay. So anyway, maybe that's where we start. Is when we're feeling that pressure, we're feeling depleted, or we're feeling overwhelmed, and we know that there are other things to do. Maybe we rank it and just figure out what has to be done, and what we can let go of, and maybe if we think about what needs to be ranked, rest feels much higher on the scale than washing laundry and making a bed.
And then I think we do need some non-negotiable things, right? Things that have to go in the list.
Right.
For me, it's brushing my teeth.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Brushing my teeth. That's on the non-negotiable list. Absolutely. Bathing. It's on the non-negotiable list. Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's a good idea, though. I like the ranking idea.
So, I don't know. So I'm just going to call it. Let's make that our challenge, friends. Start to rank those things when you're feeling that space of overwhelm or exhaustion, and report back. We'd love to hear how that's working for you and if that's helpful. So, yeah,
it's a good idea. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I guess we'll
see you next time.
Yeah. Thanks. And invite your friends to. You'll probably be seeing this in the group. We're gonna create a Facebook group too that we can invite everybody to, so you can get notifications when we have new videos. And also, if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, then you'll get notifications as well. But share it with your friends. Invite your friends to the group. We'd love to grow the community.
Absolutely.
And I started thinking this morning, or yesterday, I guess. I'm not above. We'll call them gifts. I was gonna say bribery, but. I do have some cute prizes that I can
love
give away
prizes. Yes.
If we get to 100 friends in the group or something.
Yeah. I love that. So share with your friends. Yeah. See you soon.
Thanks. I won't even stop it.
No.